defense. h3. So black is attacking the e4 pawn, and the best move could either be d3 to support the pawn or e5 to advance the pawn. So we have to, I mean, also we can take the pawn for sure, and then d4. So this is same as taking the pawn at the first place. So for example, I mean, you can play d4 and take that, and knight f3. This is exchange variation. So you can also, like what I suggest, take the pawn. If queen takes, we can move knight c3 to kick the queen, and pawn takes, then d4. This is something I would recommend. So h3, yeah, we will lose the pawn. That's a problem. Knight g5. Ooh, this is an interesting move. I think white has some trap here that is at this diagonal. I'm pretty sure white is doing something at this diagonal. If black pushed h6, what about queen h5, attacking the f7 pawn? So in this position, black can play e5 to attack the knight with our queen, and also later we can castle as soon as possible. Knight f6 and knight c3, attacking the pawn, and bishop f5, bishop c4, e6. So now white is quite safe. Castle, bishop to d6, d3, b5. Well, I think the e4 pawn is important. There are 3 pieces attacking e4, while black only have 2 defenders. So I think the best move should be taking the pawn, otherwise we'll lose the pawn. So that's a problem with b5. For example, if white take the pawn, and if we take the bishop, and white will take this one. So in this case, white can open up the e file and attack the black king before its castle, and this is super annoying. If you move bishop to e7, queen d8, king has to take that, and knight f7. White can win the rook. So yeah, so white should take the e4 pawn, but let's see. But white didn't do that. And h6, knight back to f3. I think back to e4 is better than knight to f3 because e4 is a center square. And black castle. So now black has set up a very good structure. The pawn structure, the pawns are connected, and also the bishops are developed. So rook e1, knight e7, knight e4, queen b5. Well, I would. Okay, there might be some threat on e5 if we e6. But I mean, I think light square bishop is a great asset. Can we move it back to h7? Oh, knight e6 is coming, and rook e6, and white can win the bishop back, and also the discover attack is so dangerous. So yeah, I think black has to give up this bishop, but we can still move develop knight. If I take, when take it with the knight, since black have up one pawn, black still better, and also the knight can attack d3, the isolated pawn, and also exchange the bishop if we want to. So we move queen to b6 and take, bishop e3, back to c7, bishop d4, knight e5. Yeah, this pawn is losing because yeah, this pawn with e6, when it goes to f5, it becomes isolated, and it's also a bit hard to protect the pawn. Maybe g6 can work. But if you look at this diagonal, the bishop pair are really strong. So yeah, we lose a pawn in a5, rook d1, a4. This is quite good. This pawn push is really good. Push the bishop back to c2. This position is quite stuck here, stuck by its own pawn, and also the pawn is blocked by the bishop. So it takes at least 2 moves to release the light square bishop. So this pawn push is really good. rook ba, knight e2, c5, exchange, b3. So not white wants to fight back at for the light square bishop. We take that. I don't think. I would just close the queen side, and then the light square bishop will be stuck here for a long period. After the exchange, the light square bishop become active again. So that is the thing. Bishop to c2, d4, bishop back to d6, rook a1. So if you ask me to protect the a2 pawn, I will move the knight to c1, because if you have to choose between a knight and a rook as a defender for a2, I would choose a low value piece, because rook to a1, this is a high value piece. It's not worth to be placed at the passive position. Okay, and also black win material. That's a very good move. Yeah, and also trap the rook. And after losing the knight and the rook, I think white is impossible to balance the position again. c3, c2. Yeah, losing the bishop is a little bit unnecessary, but black's still winning. The advantage is so great. Yeah, mate. Okay, that's it.